fields just like the one I'm standing on.
And these fields, Samantha, certainly take a beating. Chalk lines are erased, the grass gets trampled, and the dirt gets kicked up.
It takes a highly trained grounds crew to get these fields looking game ready, so the next time fans walk through the gate, everything looks perfect.
Ryan Fleiter shows us how groundskeepers maintain the diamond.
Patience is the key to perfection. Groundskeepers at ballparks throughout the Grapefruit League take their time getting everything just right. The morning is the busiest time for these groundskeepers. They have a lot on their to-do list.
We do mow our infield every morning. The clay gets watered every morning, raked out. You know, we got to untarp the fields, pull all of our screens out, and just get ready for batting practice.
Kurt Thomas knows how to keep a field looking good. He's the head groundskeeper for the Detroit Tigers and is responsible for keeping several different fields in shape.
We have 6 fields here total that they use. Pitchers use the fields in the back, the one behind this field, and then the position players come here in the mornings.
Trevor Gooby is the Pittsburgh Pirates Senior Director of Florida Operations. He believes it's all about the details.
Obviously, I'm not an expert in field maintenance, so I really rely on these guys, but one of the things that is really important to myself and our organization is the small details.
The smallest details are often the most important. A bad hop on a ground ball could cost the team a win. And with so much wear and tear, it's up to the groundskeepers to keep the field in playing condition.
It's a constant job on those fields because they're always used 24/7, 365 days a year. We have guys on the field, so it's very difficult to keep up and make sure the fields look good.
Groundskeepers spend hours before a game cutting the grass, grooming the dirt, and chalking the lines, only to have to do it all over again after 9 innings of play. From McKechnie Field in Bradenton, I'm Ryan Fleiterer. Fields aren't the only thing getting in shape. Veteran players use spring training as a time to focus on conditioning. But for newcomers, it's all about trying out for a job.
After the break, we'll meet you in the dugout to find out what it's like to be one of those candidates. But first, it's not all work and no play in the clubhouse.
That's right, Samantha. Each team has one player who knows how to lighten the mood with a good prank.
Brandon Inge, for sure, one of my favorite players, and I think he's one of the pranksters.
Brandon Inge is always playing pranks, and we got a good mix of guys to keep guys lighthearted and just have fun.
Valverde had me smell something that just completely blew out my sinuses. I don't know what it was. It was in a cup, and I fell for it. So that was the one thing that's happened, but nothing too bad.
I have the most fun with him because I have the loudest voice.
And guys are looking for funny stories. They come to me. I'm always, I'm a little bit off the beaten path. My dad's left-handed, so I think I got a little bit of that in there from him. But, I'll try to keep guys loose, but it's all business out on the mound.
Welcome back to WEBN's Inside the Grapefruit League 2011.
Watching a spring training game live is a luxury for local residents and diehard fans, but not everyone can make it out to the ballpark.
That's where broadcasters come in. Whether it's television or radio, they bring the game to you. Ryan Fleiterer met with broadcasters who've been bringing you the play-by-play for years.
Ground ball stabbed by Folk. He underhands the first, and the Red Sox are the world champions for the first time in 86 years. Can you believe it?
He remembers it like it was yesterday. 7 years ago, Boston Red Sox broadcaster Joe Castiglione had one of the best seats in the house when the Red Sox broke the infamous curse of the Bambino. Today at spring training, Castiglione still sits in his favorite seat.
You get to go to the games, watch the games in the best seats in the house, and we really enjoy it.
If there's anyone who enjoys broadcasting a Major League Baseball game, it's Tim Neverett. The Pittsburgh Pirates play-by-play announcer has been behind the microphone for years. He brings the same enthusiasm to every single game.
If you can't do a full game the right way, then you shouldn't be doing it. So you have to be prepared, and you have to do it as a Major League game every single night.
Doing play-by-play for a spring training game is no easy task. With expanded rosters, broadcasters must do their homework in order to make the correct calls.
And I follow this, and I think anybody in broadcasting should follow this, is, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. And that's in anything in life. And I go by that. And I do that every day when I'm preparing for a game, that if I'm not prepared, somebody's going to notice.
Luckily, they don't have to do it by themselves. Play-by-play announcers are often paired up with former professional athletes who provide fans with insight only a player would know.
So you learn to draw from them. They're the ones who've been there. They're the ones who've had the expertise at the professional level. They've seen a lot and done a lot. So you try to draw from them.
Neverett has sat alongside former players like Bob Walk and even Red Sox manager Dick Williams. He says they bring the passion to the game and that it's up to him to let them shine. For WEBN, I'm Ryan Fleiterer.
So in case you can't make it to Florida, there's always a way to keep up with your favorite team.
But it's not always easy to keep up with the newest talent. Matt Dominguez may not be a household name, but Marlins fans are well aware of his potential. I went out to the field where Dominguez told me about his spring training experience.
He's the new fish in town. 21-year-old Matt Dominguez is penciled in to make his major league debut this season as the starting third baseman for the Florida Marlins. Dominguez could stabilize this position for the club, and he says he's ready.
Just giving it a shot and play in the big leagues this year in spring training, so it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and it's going well so far.
In recent years, the Marlins have been ranked among baseball's worst teams defensively. So Dominguez's impressive fielding skills are exactly what the team needs.
Just steady defense, you know, and been working on my hitting and getting more confident with it, and hopefully it works out.
His hard work at the plate is paying off, even though there were some questions about how productive his bat would be. So far this spring training, Dominguez has a .270 batting average with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs.
If the young third baseman continues to produce at the plate, he will certainly get a chance to show off his gold glove on the field.
Dominguez has a spot on the 40-man roster, but some players aren't that lucky. Big league clubs can invite players to spring training, but that doesn't guarantee them a contract.
This year's non-roster invitees explained to us how they're trying to prove their worth.
You know, I don't treat that as any different. I had that 1 year with Chicago where I had a guaranteed contract, but I still approached it, you know, like nothing was guaranteed, you know. I just like to come to spring and try to stay healthy and take advantage of the opportunity that I get.
You never know what's going to happen. Somebody gets hurt or something goes wrong in the season. I need somebody to play up there. So just always get my work in and just get myself ready in case that opportunity comes.
Hopefully you wind up being able to help the team out. You know, as far as this team, they're so talented. It would just be great to be a part of it.
I brought you in because of the type of player you are, so you just have to play your game, and when they need you, continue to play your game.
It's not just the youngest players that find themselves without contracts. Even veterans like Baltimore Orioles' Randy Winn and Garrett Atkins have to fight for their spots.
The decision to secure their spots isn't just up to the manager. The front office has the final say on players' professional futures.
Pirates president Frank Coonelly and Phillies general manager Ruben Amaro Jr. proved that to me.
Spring training is a time for young players to impress their coaches and managers. It's also a time for them to prove that they're ready for the majors. The front office personnel in any ball club has the ultimate power to decide a player's professional fate. Pittsburgh Pirates president Frank Coonelly believes that the important part lies in the interaction between the rookies and the veterans.
One of my favorite parts of spring training is seeing the younger minor league players who come into camp and come over to the major league game. But it's the players that you think are not quite ready, but another step along the way.
Players aren't the only ones who worry about getting the front office approval. So do managers. During this year's spring training, Philadelphia Phillies manager Charlie Manuel breathed a sigh of relief when he was awarded a 2-year contract extension. Phillies general manager Ruben Amaro Jr. revealed what went into the decision to keep the veteran skipper in the dugout.
I mean, there's always risk, but I think this is the right thing to do for our organization as we move forward. And Charlie's had a great deal of success and helped us have a great deal of success over the last several years.
For some teams, success comes from shelling out the big bucks. But Coonelly believes that it's not all about the money.
It's not always about how much you spend, it's how well you spend it, and it's about the quality of young players that you have on your team.
The Pirates are heading into this season with the lowest payroll. That can make it difficult to keep talented players.
That's right. Fortunately for the Minnesota Twins and the Baltimore Orioles, they have the budget to keep 2 of the league's best outfielders.
The Twins' Denard Span and Orioles' Nick Markakis have been working to stay at the top of their game.
We have to go out and play the game the right way. Play fundamentally sound baseball, throw to the right bases, and just play our game. And I think year in and year out, that's why we're so competitive, because we do those things, and at the end, we're always right where we want to be.
No matter how long you've been in this game, you learn something new every day, and just build on things, work on things, and that's what spring training is for. You just got to go out there and work on the little things.
Spring training isn't just a time for current players to enjoy America's pastime.
Former big leaguers often show up at ballparks all around the Grapefruit League.
After the break, join us back up in the grandstand, where we'll tell you about a Detroit Tiger who made history exactly 50 years ago. Welcome back to WEBN's Inside the Grapefruit League 2011.
It was half a century ago when Jake Wood took the field in Lakeland, Florida as a member of the Detroit Tigers. He was the first African American to do so for the Tigers at spring training.
This spring, Wood was recognized for his contribution to the game of baseball. Our reporter Grapefruit was there when Wood threw out the first pitch.
50 years later, he's still got it. 5 decades ago, Jake Wood became the first African American from the Tigers farm system to play for Detroit. He says spring training has changed a lot since then.
They got all kind of equipment, you know, like to strengthen the guys, and we didn't have that. And I look now, you know, like the field, the preparation, the strength coaches, and, you know, just the atmosphere itself is a lot different, you know, 50 years ago.
That's when the Tigers traded their starting second baseman. Wood had a chance to take the job, and he seized the opportunity. This year, Detroit has yet to decide on a second baseman. Wood gave the players competing for the job the same advice he would have given himself 50 years ago.
When you look at people that succeed, right up here. So be mentally prepared, because when your time comes, be ready.
Wood stole 30 bases in his rookie season. He still finds a use for his quick feet. The 73-year-old continues to play racquetball and softball, but he doesn't think that makes him very speedy.
I don't think I can run around the bases like I used to, but I can make it around. Instead of a stopwatch, they probably need an hourglass for me to run around, but I still enjoy it. Yeah.
Wood can still throw the ball, too. His ceremonial first pitch was a perfect strike. I'm Greg Brood, WEBN Sports.
During his time, Wood was one of the fastest players. He led the league in triples during his rookie season.
And seeing a legend like Wood is just one of the things that makes spring training so special for fans.
And you know, Samantha, the game just wouldn't be the same without the fans.
It sure wouldn't. Our Geraldine Novia spent time with fans at different ballparks around the Grapefruit League. She found out what keeps the fans coming back game after game after game.
It could be the warm temperatures, the hot sun, or just the smell of ballpark food. But fans say there's something unique about spring training.
I think the players are more friendlier. It's a more open atmosphere all around. Everybody's pretty knowledgeable about baseball, and everybody gets geeked up because it's been a long winter, and everybody's happy.
For some, there's a simpler explanation about what draws them to the games.
The weather, the hot guys, baseball, yeah!
Trevor Gooby is the director of Florida operations for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He runs everything from field maintenance to media for the team's spring training. Gooby sees spring training as a more wholesome approach to the game.
I tell people it's the way baseball's supposed to be because, you know, it's like old-time baseball where you're right on top of the action. There's no really other thrills and you know, other features like that. No huge scoreboard, no crazy loud music. It's just pure baseball, and I think that's what people really enjoy.
It was Carol McBurney's first time at a Red Sox spring training game. The Boston native didn't hold in her excitement.
It was wonderful, wonderful.
What's your favorite part?
We loved it. The ease of it, the smallness and being up close. I loved it.
Ballparks around the Grapefruit League are filled with fans who are eager to see the product their team will put on the field in 2011. In Bradenton, Florida, I'm Geraldine Novia.
We've taken you behind the scenes, into the clubhouse, and onto the field.
Spring training is certainly a one-of-a-kind experience. As we leave you, take a look and listen to some of the unique sounds you can only hear at the ballpark. For all of us at WEBN, I'm Nick Coy.
And I'm Samantha Russo. We'll see you next year.
Hey, cold beer, cold water, ham, nor lie.